I don't know if the person that requested is ever going to see this, but I did accidentally pay $40 for this, so I hope they appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because I did not notice the shipping.
Oh, Canadian shipping, yeah.
Welcome to a bonus episode of Side 1, Side B with Dave and Steve. I'm Steve.
And I'm Dave.
And this is going to be a part of a series of EPs of shorter episodes, of shorter releases that will... Well, I don't think we've quite decided what we're going to do with them yet, but we're recording them, so... Anyway...
Are you one of my coworkers, and... You kind of have vague thoughts of me, and other coworkers have said good things, and so you want to check out my podcast, but you don't want to commit to 45 minutes to an hour? This episode is for you.
Exactly. And today is a very special day because this is our first viewer request, or listener request. Viewer, since it was on a YouTube short. The person that left the comments was on a short for the Diano 1984 episode, when his AOR moderate rock solo release. So it was kind of interesting to get this request on it, but he ended up requesting the Jins, Death Wish. They are a Canadian band, and... He said in his comments, they said, shouldn't assume their gender, but they said in their comments that they're a band that, in their opinion, hasn't gotten the recognition they think they deserve. So they said if y'all take requests to review it, and I was happy to oblige.
Yeah, why the hell not? Well, I wonder if it was a member of the band. If it was, no shame. Self-promotion is important. We self-promote and get banned from subreddits for self-promoting.
Exactly. We get banned from subreddits with like 300 people in it that don't post for months at a time, but, sorry for the engagement.
Yeah. Aren't you glad people care about your subreddit that no one's in? Yeah.
Well, anyway, so... I listened to about a minute of the title track, and that was just enough for me to decide that, we should do this. Because, we don't mind doing requests. I mean, we might not do something. We have to actually feel it.
Yeah.
For us to, put it down. I don't know. If you're you guys should review Dragon Force, I don't think any of us would be into that. But
well, and if we start getting too many requests, maybe we'll put the kibosh on it. Just because we're doing requests now doesn't mean we will eternally do requests. But for now, we're just getting started. We've, our download numbers are in the hundreds at this point, so it's not like we're huge at this point, and we don't know if we'll ever get huge. But if it becomes a thing where we have more requests than we can reasonably keep up with, and it starts getting just annoying for us to actively take them, we'll reserve the right to stop doing that. But for now, it's fun.
Well, and this one in particular, I would have never came across this band unless somebody put this up. So I'm looking forward to listening to this. Usually when we do an album, we do a very shallow amount of research to convey where the band is from and all that. But this band isn't big enough to have a Wikipedia page. So instead, I'm going to read some entries from this article from Citrus Magazine by Francis Baptiste entitled "The Jins' Death Wish Reminds Us That Grunge Ain't Dead." So he describes Death Wish as a big sounding album. The riffs are ranchless, the drums are neck-snapping, the bass is bellowing, the vocals are loud and hoarse, like trying to talk to somebody in a mosh pit. The production and performance are all spot on, and even if it's not your genre, it'd be hard not to appreciate this album for what it is. So, sounds like a really good description to me.
Yeah, I like grunge. I was always disappointed that grunge gave way to neo-grunge way too quickly. Mm-hmm. I've always thought that this genre could become so many things and keep doing things, but people started associating it with the bad rip-offs around 1996 and considered it dead at that point and still loved the classics. But yeah, what if it just kept going? What if we just had heavy punk music, basically, continue to be like a normal thing? And I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have. I do not like post-grunge or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, Nirvana good, Puddle of Mud bad. Controversial opinion, I know.
Yeah, so I will shout out a local band called Caligula that we used to play with. I don't think they're active anymore, but they had a really good old school grunge sound, and I don't know if they ever released anything online. If they did, I'll put a link to their stuff in the description, because me and Alex were really good friends when I was booking shows and stuff, and they sound like an old school grunge throwback. So we'll give a recommendation with this album review of another band. So anyway, let's take a look at the album cover here. So on the front, it's a giant party scene. There are a lot of different casts of characters across here. Too many to really describe, but a lot of interesting situations, I'll say. The guy on the roof kind of looks like Mark Maron. Dave, what do you think of the cover?
Oh yeah, it's a painting. It's a painting of like a massive house party that's completely out of control. I see a lizard crawling along the side of the house. There's a guy in like a piglet pajama suit, like kind of skanking on the porch. Some of these people look like they're having fun. Some of them are doing like the ennui stare into space thing. Oh, there's a car on fire, and it looks like there's an alien in a lab coat, and like a burglar with a knapsack over his shoulder. Oh, it looks like the house is getting fumigated.
It's the best time to throw a party is when the house is getting fumigated.
Yeah.
Well, if you see, there's two Jesuses on the roof, so they're probably fine.
Yeah. Someone put a lot of work into this. There's a lot going on in here. It's a good cover. I like it.
Yeah. And then you flip it around, it looks like the band's a three-piece.
Yep. A lot of grunge bands are.
Okay, it looks like in that same article I quoted from before, they saw the Jins perform live at Static Jupiter, and they mentioned that the singer-guitarist Ben Larsen looks kind of like a young Kurt Cobain, which I can see.
Yeah,
I think that's the guy in the middle there.
The guy in the middle looks like a young Kurt Cobain, and then on the band is playing on the album cover on the porch, and the guy singing and playing guitar also looks like a young Kurt Cobain on there. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the lineup on this is Ben Larsen on guitar vocals, Jamie Warnock on drums, and Hudson Partridge on bass. This particular EP was recorded spring 2015 and released on September 11th, 2015, which means that they did a 9/11.
Yeah, never forget.
Oh, we'll never forget once we do the Iced Earth special.
Oh, God. Definitely
which may or may not be in the past by the time we release this.
Yeah, depending on what order we do these bonus episodes.
Future Steve here. This is in the past. We did an election special, and it aged poorly with our predictions. Womp womp. But it's still pretty funny, so go check it out. Anyway, back to the review. Well, all right. Well, I think that's as much information as we can dig up for now. If any of the band members come across this episode, leave a comment and let us know something.
Yeah. Say hi.
Yeah, just say hi.
Yeah.
You just type hi.
Yeah.
And we'd be fine with that. Yeah. So, all right, we're going to throw this on, and we're both going in blind, which is pretty new for this podcast.
Yeah, we've never had an episode where we both went in blind.
Yeah. Eventually, we're going to have an episode where we all hate it, but this is one where neither of us have listened to it. So here we go. All right, well, we are back from a much shorter side than we're used to because we usually review LPs.
Yeah, I haven't even finished my beer. What the fuck?
So, yeah, that was definitely very grungy.
Yeah.
Very Nirvana-like.
Yeah, very Nirvana. It was like on the, there's the, like, grunge is kind of equally influenced both by, like, the artier side of punk and then, like, heavy metal, like I call it the Sonic Youth, Black Sabbath continuum. This was like with, like, Nirvana and Mudhoney on slightly more the Sonic Youth side, which is good. I like both kinds of grunge, but yeah, it's, I really enjoyed it. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you would be able to easily put these songs onto, I don't know, if you were in the early 2000s, you could throw all these songs onto a file sharing network with the Nirvana name, and it would fool fucking everybody, I think.
That was so much fun, though.
Yeah. No, and I mean the guy's dead, so you might as well.
Might as well.
Yeah, and on top of that, there are some things to this band that I think are a bit improved on over Nirvana, because I think the musicianship on this album was a step up even over, say, Kurt Cobain's guitar playing. I noticed some more moments where the instruments articulated differently than the Nirvana musicians probably would have chose.
Yeah, I like, one of the things I always like about grunge is how, it does, like, Nirvana wasn't the only band to do this, although they're the one to point out the Pixies' influence for it, the quiet, loud, quiet, like where it does kind of like the jangly guitars into the heavy guitars. I've always liked that. That's one of the things I've always been a fan of. Like you got kind of like the jangly Johnny Marr style guitar playing, and then just like the really thick like Melvin style guitar playing, which is nice because it's like. Sometimes I want to listen to something that's in between those two bands, and grunge kind of hits that perfect medium point.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
By doing both.
So going through the tracks here, so there's 3 tracks. The first one, She Said, lyrically really reminded me of something that Kurt Cobain would have wrote.
Yeah.
And vocally, he sounds almost like a doppelganger. Like you could, like... I know Nirvana would never do this, but if they ever wanted to, I don't know, do a cynical cash grab tour, they could grab this guy and it would work, I think.
And he would be a lot younger than Dave and Chris.
Oh, well, what are your thoughts on the first song?
Yeah, She Said, that might have been my favorite track of the side. It was, just like a solid little album opener. Just, I enjoyed listening to it. It was... the guitar, I really liked the guitar work on it. I liked how the bass stood out. Like the bass wasn't just following the root notes to the guitar. You could kind of see what they were both doing, but they were locked in pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll also say his lead playing, I think, was better than Kurt's attempt at lead playing most of the time. The second track, Death Wish, I really liked the lyrics of that one. It had kind of a... it seemed like a comment on society in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
I brought up the lyrics here. Let me take a look here. While I'm looking that up,
Title track.
What did you think of Death Wish?
Yeah, I liked it. It was a little less clean than She Said, which I thought was a good thing, actually, too. It got a little more into the sludgy territory. It was, it reminded, like, this reminds me of the kind of music that I was listening to when I was driving around in my car, listening to the radio and listening to alternative rock when I was like 16, and figuring out that, oh, hey, these other bands that are playing that are a little older are better than like Puddle of Mud and Creed that are also playing at the same time.
Yeah. Reading through the lyrics, I get a sense it's somebody who doesn't feel like they're in control of society and or control of themselves in this society, and because of that, the world around them makes them suicidal. Maybe it might be the best way to put it. Or
that's a Kurt idea.
Death Wish. Again, that's the song that convinced me to get this and for us to review it. It's got a really heavy, grungy vibe that I think in a lot of ways was probably even heavier and more rocking than Nirvana got a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And they got pretty rocking a lot. So I would also say the production on this is excellent. And I try to think like where if this was a Nirvana release, like where would you put it? And it's like I don't know, kind of between Bleach and Nevermind, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like this definitely doesn't have like the harsh, heavy sound of In Utero, or even some of the moments on Bleach. But yeah, it kind of sits with. To me, it kind of sits with like at that point, like the more accessible sides of Bleach in terms of production, like About a Girl, or like like some of the like a lot of the moments on Nevermind too.
Yeah. And then to go into that last song On Your Own. If we were to compare any of this to In Utero, I think that's the closest it's got to being In Utero-ish.
Yeah. Also my favorite, but In Utero is my favorite Nirvana album, so yeah.
Yeah. It had a really nice old school guitar sound that was almost clean, but it had like a really like satisfying crunch to it, I thought.
Yeah, well, kind of like clean but crunchy guitar, I think, is something that's underutilized in rock a lot of the time, so it was good to hear, yeah.
Yeah. And looking at the lyrics, it sounds like it's somebody that's very lonely, and it sounds like the person from the perspective of the person...
The protagonist.
Yeah, the protagonist of this song. It seems as if they are lamenting that they fucked up in some kind of way, so...
Yeah, I don't want it to sound like I'm just trying to say that this is just derivative, but, like, this is the kind of stuff that I'm... Like, the lyrical subjects, it's kind of what I'm used to hearing for grunge, kind of like a lot of... Like, yeah, a lot of depression, alienation, that kind of thing. Just, like, the feeling of an outcast, which I think that's who grunge appeals to. That's why I like grunge. I was the weird kid, Yeah.
Yeah, grunge I always found to be very appealing. I know I had, like, an elitist metalhead mindset about it early on, but it's like, fucking Alice in Chains is one of the heaviest bands ever, so,
yeah.
Like... even not even musically, but just like lyrically, the subject matter is really fucking heavy. Like, there are sometimes I prefer the later era of Alice in Chains just because it's not nearly as depressing as the Lane era.
Yeah.
Because God, Lane was just a master at projecting his depression.
So on my Sonic Youth Black Sabbath continuum, where do you think Alice in Chains exists on that?
Well, a lot closer to the Black Sabbath
side.
All
the way on the Black Sabbath side. Just like, and then like Soundgarden is more on the Black Sabbath side, but not quite as far as Alice in Chains. And then you get, then you get Nirvana more on the Sonic Youth side, and then Mudhoney, and then
Well, and I would describe Soundgarden as almost a union of Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin in a lot of ways, because they had the heaviness of Black Sabbath, but they utilized a lot of the musicality of Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, side A, I enjoyed all of those songs, and I'm glad just based on side one, I'm glad this record's in my collection, but I'm looking forward to side B here.
Yeah.
Again, 3 songs. We got one called Throw It Away. It sounds like an angsty grunge song title. Pop song. Sounds like a...
radio-friendly unit shifter.
Yeah. And then Jack Skellington, which, it's a cultural reference. So, let's pop this on. Based on side A, I'm expecting side B to be probably just as good as side A. That's my prediction.
The great thing about EPs is oftentimes like they're lean enough that there's no filler and it's all just really solid.
Oh yeah, there's sometimes I think there's bands that's just like, you should just do all EPs.
Yeah.
You don't have to do a whole album, just do half an album.
Yeah. 17 minutes is just as good as 30 sometimes.
Exactly. All right, here we go. All right, well, welcome back from side B. I think we both decided that if side A was the Nirvana derivative grunge side, this was the fun side where they kind subverted expectations by playing around with different sounds, I would say, in the grunge sphere of influence.
Yeah, it definitely was still within the grunge, but there's also a little bit of pop punk on this side, I think.
Yeah, which they called pop song.
Yeah. Well, and also Jack Skellington was also had a little bit of pop punk in it too.
Yeah. Yeah, we can just go right into it. Throw It Away, musically, it was a harder hitting grunge song.
Yeah.
For lack of a better comparison, it's almost like if Kurt sang for Alice in Chains. Like, not quite that heavy, but but heavier than Nirvana, like, really got.
Yeah.
And then...
It was a heavy grunge song, but then, like, the vocal melody reminded me... This is not a grunge band, but the vocal melody reminded me of 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah, they definitely utilized some elements that Nirvana wouldn't have. So if you were looking for a Nirvana-ish album, but you kind of wanted to see, I don't know, it's almost like I don't see Kurt Cobain doing pop song or Jack Skellington, but I could see him doing Throw It Away.
Oh, I don't know. Have you ever listened to Incesticide, the B-sides Nirvana album?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they kind of reminded me of like some of the poppier songs on that, like the Devo cover on that, Turnaround.
Okay, yeah, I can see that, yeah. Well, and I would say in the spirit of Kurt, I detected like a hint of sarcasm in the way that he delivered the vocals in Pop Song.
Yeah.
Like, it was very tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah. Radio-friendly unit shifter.
Yeah. So it was very self-aware.
Yeah.
And then, Jack Skellington had a really good dirty bass line, and as you mentioned while we were listening to it, paired really well with the clean guitar.
Yeah, I like that clean guitar sound, that almost sounds like a bell ringing. When you pair it with like a really like kind of heavily distorted dirty bass sound, I think like switching the, because usually, it's the reverse clean bass with, like very dirty guitar. And it always just stands out to me, like, musically when you flip it.
Yeah.
And so I thought that sounded really cool. I did, go back to previous to Pop Song a little bit. One thing I noticed was the whoas in the chorus.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't, that didn't sound like Nirvana. To me, that sounded more pop punk. That was like, I don't know, Green Day or The Offspring, that kind of thing. Which are good. I like Green Day and The Offspring. I like, like bringing some stuff you can skateboard to along with the stuff you can shoot heroin to,
Yeah, and I can never see Kurt doing that soaring vocal, but I could see Dave Grohl doing that with Foo Fighters. So
yeah.
So I guess if we want to compare it to the Nirvana sphere, maybe that's the Foo Fighters song. But,
yeah.
Yeah.
But back to Jack Skellington. Sorry to jump back there. But yeah, I thought it was good. Like for a set, I can sometimes be a little resistant to cultural references. I don't do a lot of cultural references in my own music. When I do, it's serious stuff like Kurt Vonnegut, damn it. But yeah, like it was like the song itself was good. So yeah.
Yeah, I similarly kind of shy away from songs that have a cultural reference, but that's not a slight on any song that's like that. It's just a personal preference.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this EP. Every song was really good. I really liked how side A was super depressing, and I really liked how side B was the fun side.
Yeah, well, it started kind of depressing, and then it kind of eased into, hey, let's have a party. Let's do some skateboarding.
Yeah. So, I would say anybody that's a fan of Nirvana should absolutely check this release out.
Yeah.
Anybody that's into grunge, especially on the Sonic Youth side of the sphere, as you put it, should definitely check this out.
Yeah. Anyone who misses the good era of grunge in the 90s before it gave way to post grunge or whatever you want to call that.
Right. Yeah, like if grunge was gonna combine with pop, I would have much preferred it in the way that they did in this, rather than in like a Nickelback Creed kind of way.
Yeah.
We'll give a shout out to the person that told us to check this out, which I should have looked up earlier, but I'm not a professional.
We can edit this part out too,
and I will.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So 2 weeks ago, from recording this anyway, Dylan G left the comment, if y'all don't mind recommendations, y'all should check out the Jins. Their EP Death Wish is fantastic, in my opinion. and they're not all that popular, sadly. And then they also mentioned the title track isn't even the best part, in their opinion. So I'm trying to think, what was my favorite song on this? I would say probably Throw It Away.
Throw It Away was good. For me,
on the entire thing.
Yeah. For me, I want to say She Said, but not in the way that, like sometimes people will say like it dipped after the first track. It didn't, but I thought like She Said, like it was just like a solid opener and kind of set the whole mood and was just like a good song.
Yeah, I wouldn't say this album dropped in quality at all.
No,
all of these songs were high quality. So
yeah, it was good.
well, thanks for recommending that one to us. We'll probably check out a full album by then. I think Sean would probably enjoy this band.
Yeah.
So, well, anyway, that was the first in our series of shorter episodes, and that's it.
Yep. Catch you on the flip side.
The shorter flip side.
Yeah.
Side 1, Side B is a Floof Goof Studios production. Check us out on the interwebs by going to my website, killrockmusic.com. That's KILRAVOCK music.com. And there's a tab for Side 1, Side B. And additionally, you can check out me and Dave's projects, The Alliterates and Lucid Fugue, respectively. You can also check us out on Instagram at killrockmusicsws and Dave_Diction. Thank you.
Yeah. Never forget.